It's America's favorite sport, with one major league, various minor leagues, and around 5.23 million participants based on research from the Statistical Research Department. Tackle football has become a pillar within American society. Although entertaining, the sport has raised concerns over its high-risk nature. The national minimum age requirement for this sport should be set at 14 years old. This sport requires a mandatory age requirement at 14 because children under this age are underdeveloped. They are not yet ready for the impact of tackles. Also, repeated blows to the head from such a young age are directly linked to life-altering brain damage. The concern over brain damage and head trauma is not isolated. Many organizations and research departments are encouraging an age requirement or encouraging parents to delay their child's start within tackle football. The Concussion Legacy Foundation has urged parents to wait until their child reaches the age of 14 to begin their enrollment within tackle football. They also launched Flag Football Under 14, which is an educational campaign for parents. Along with this, their PSA, Tackle Can Wait, concluded that chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE, is linked not only to how many concussions a player has had, but also how long they've been participating in tackle football. These organizations are advocating for these changes because it is proven that the first 8 years of a child's brain development are the most important. Since, at these ages, their heads are larger, they are more susceptible to hits. Until they reach this stage of adolescence, children should be protected from or avoid much impact to their heads. To put a child in the position to prevent or to lose this opportunity at brain development is cruel. Additionally, the Boston Medical University found that of the 376 brains donated by former football players, 345 of them had traces of CTE, which is proven to be directly related to repeated head trauma. This study was done just 9 months ago. In order to combat these shocking statistics, there must be a national mandatory minimum age required to play tackle football. This would apply to the ages of all recreational as well as school teams. After creating and enforcing this national age requirement, there should be promotion of more flag football teams as a substitution to tackle. Flag football under 14 or other lower impact sports would help to make this a new norm as opposed to the current norm, which is children playing tackle football. Kids should not feel that they are missing out on the sport, but that they are being trained to play the sport more responsibly. Even with these changes, it is imperative to educate players, coaches, and parents on proper tackling techniques. If all involved are aware, potentially dangerous tackles can be prevented on a much larger scale. It is also important that teams invest in proper protective gear. Football players surround us in our schools, our families, and even our friendships. Offer them advice on getting to know these proper tackling techniques and investing in the proper gear to protect them from repeated head trauma. In order to avoid head trauma, or CTE, which are now regular results of football, organizations, and most importantly the government, must enforce a national mandatory age minimum at 14 years old. To continue the ongoing efforts of organizations, the minimum age should be enforced nationwide. After its enforcement, flag football should be promoted as a safer alternative to tackle football. Throughout this process, it is important to keep educating not only the players themselves, but also their guardians and coaches about avoiding injuries which could lead to head trauma. The safety of young football players greatly outweighs the entertainment of audiences or prospective fame. It's time to control the risk.